Hey, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I am coming to you from the Twin Island nation of Trinidad and Tobago. Just flew in tonight. I'm currently staying in a hotel. Got in around 9-ish. Had to do visa work for paperwork and what have you, because I'll be here for the next year. But really interesting. So far, so good. Really like everything. The first thing I did, and this I don't want to dwell on this too long, but the first thing I did is everybody that I talked to that has either worked in Trinidad and Tobago or is from there said KFC is very different, and so I had to give that a try. And 100% true, it is very different, very very tasty. The spicy, you have to get the spicy. You can't get original. The original is going to be like what you get in the U.S. It's not good. I personally don't go to KFC in the U.S. But anyway, if you're ever in any of the Caribbean islands, you gotta get KFC. It's very different. Get the spicy chicken. It's delicious. But anyway, starting off this video a little bit different, obviously aside from the little story there, but showing you guys the income that I made in July of this year. So thankfully enough, July was the best month that I've had. I think by a considerable margin. I think the second highest month I've then ever had was, I don't know what's going on. I was going to try to bring up pictures and stuff. Sorry about that. I think the second best month I've ever had was about 125. So let's just do a quick test here. Whoops. 177 minus 125 divided by 125. So that's a 40% or so increase compared to my previous best month, which has a lot to do with you guys, and it also has to do with that I was trying to get a video out every other day or so. And you can see the average income, average around $6 for the month, $6 per day for the month. It was kind of hovering up, down, and what have you. So really appreciate you guys continue to watch the channel and really providing good ideas for content and stuff along those lines as well. Makes it easier on me. Another thing that I wanted to kind of walk through is maybe not necessarily this, but where I actually had some, if you just bear with me, some actual received dividends. Let me get this a little situated here so we can see a little bit better. So here's my dividend map, so you can see it's somewhat monthly. But at the moment, for this year, we're tracking, I believe, at about 8,700 or so. Yep, so 8,700 for this year, which is better than what I was expecting. I think I was expecting around 8,500. And so we still have a couple months to go yet, but we shall see how it ends up playing out. But actually going to the companies that paid me in the month of July. So Bank of Nova Scotia paid me $67.38. Main Street Capital, one of my Main Street Capital holdings, around $27. Altria Group, ticker symbol MO. Realty Income Corp, $4.51. Stag, and Starwood Property Trust, as you guys are probably well familiar with. And that in total, from just my individual brokerage account, was around $164, so nothing too great. Cash was really the only thing that paid me. In my YouTube Moolah account, my Roth IRA also paid me a little bit because of the cash that I have in there. But this dividend did not come in, so I'm going to delete that bad boy. We have WP Carey for $77, Philip Morris for $73, another position in Main Street Capital for $31, Disney, their semi-annual payment for $45 or so, and almost $35 from Cyrus One. So looking completely at the Roth IRA, that's about $260. Another share or another stake in computer shares, or in my computer shares accounts for Altria Group for another $20. Keurig Dr. Pepper $1.10. Philip Morris again for $22. Realty Income Corp again for $1.17. And then I had a minor payment in a minor payment coming from McCormick Spice Company, and then I also had some dividends come through from the Funderize. They paid me a $14 dividend in this quarter, and these dividends should be going up slightly over time because now I'm investing about $137 every month into Funderize. So hopefully over time, as we continue to invest in that, that will continue to grow to $15, $16, $17 every single quarter. Cardone Capital still have yet to get a payment from that. So I heard from somebody else that they said that it takes about 2 to 3 months to get your first payment. So my first effective date was July 1. So if that's the case, maybe I won't be able to get this paycheck until September, November timeframe. So we shall see. Small Amex savings account payment just because I moved a decent amount of money into my individual brokerage account, I believe. Like I was not having like that big chunk of 20 or so thousand like I did back in the May-April timeframe. And that for a total of around $487. So that combined with the $177 that I made in YouTube income was around $664. And I don't want to get particular because I'm too lazy to go figure out what is it 177, 177.12 for the YouTube income. But relatively decent month. I can't complain about that. And I think this was something that I saw pretty significant. If you just look at this, there's another way that I track it, just the total, so that way you can kind of see the dividends. But generally seeing everything go from light blue, yellow to red, continuing to go in an upward trend like so. And you can also see that if I go over to this sort of plot, this is a quarters instead of by month, you can see a little bit slightly better. The blue, yellow, red, and then the green here is my forecast for 2020. So that is that. But just looking specifically at July over July increases, let's take a look. So just from this, so we had a $122 increase compared to last year, and so that's good for about a 33% raise year over year. Of course, that has to do partially with additional capital being added to the portfolio, but also the fact that we are reinvesting dividends and also having dividend growth within there. Some key ones that happened just this week, which not necessarily incorporated in these numbers, but kind of a thing that kind of shows you it happens all the time. Like Cyrus One just raised their dividend from 46 cents per quarter to 50 cents a quarter, and for me, that's a 7 to 8% dividend raise, which is awesome. I mean, if I could get a 7 to 8% dividend raise every single year, I'll be sitting pretty happy. Exxon just raised their dividend as well. So companies like that continuing to invest in quality dividend companies that continue to raise the dividend on a annual basis or sometimes multi times a year basis, like Realty Income Corp or Main Street Capital. Now, this is where some people might get a little triggered. I think what happens is when initially people get involved in dividend investing, they immediately try to find the companies with the highest growth. And I'm not necessarily saying, or not the highest growth, the highest yield. And I'm not necessarily saying that that's the worst thing to do, but a company that I invested in was Seadrill Partners, and that reason why I was trying to was, one, it's an energy company. I'm relatively familiar with it, and by energy I mean it's a offshore drilling rig company that helps with oil and gas. But I was chasing dividend yield, and that's what drew me to that stock. At the point when I invested, it was about 10% or so dividend yield. Little did I know that dividend would then be cut in half, and then subsequently again and again, to the point where now I believe my yield on costs for that holding is 0.1% dividend yield. So if I invested $1,000, I would be getting $1. I think, is that the right math? $1 income from that, which I think is pretty close to about what I should be getting now. But anyway, going off on a little bit of a tangent here, 33% increase year over year, getting close to our goals here. Definitely, if you look at this yearly graphic, blew my 2019 goal out of the water. And I will be talking about these other graphs here in a future video. You can see that I have like this goal sort of here, which is why you kind of see this double big black line here. But the goal for the year was 8,500. I'm looking at about 8,700 for the year, not including YouTube income. Next year, getting close. I'm almost about $10,000. So I basically just need a 20% increase from where I am today, looking for 2020 income, to next year. So, but the problem is with that is a 20% increase is $2,000, which is about another $40,000 to $50,000 you need to invest in order to make sure that this happens. Not only that, but that $40,000 to $50,000 would need to be invested in January 2020 for that to happen. So what ends up probably more likely needing to happen is me investing $60,000 to $70,000 to be able to reach that. And it's going to continue to get more and more difficult just on the fact that I am going to try to maintain, I believe, a 28 to 30% dividend growth rate for myself over the coming few years, and that's kind of how you see this chart here lining up. Is it's about a 30% raise for myself every single year. We'll see if I get to that. In the past, I've had 70. 3 years before that, I had about 60, mid 60s, high 60s. The year after that, I believe it was 2017, I had mid 60s, and last year, I believe I had a 54%. I'm sorry, I'm at 54% just this year already, hoping to get to 60%. Last year I was 62%. Next year, if everything plays out, currently looking at about a 13% increase year over year, just based on the fact that dividend increases from this year and also continued capital rolling for 4 quarters rather than maybe a quarter or 2 quarters or what have you. Anyway, appreciate you guys stopping by the channel. I will talk to you guys on another video.